Okay, here is your food web foldable. So this is going to be the side we glue on. So we're going to have this side facing up. To start, we're just going to fold it in half hamburger, crease it, and then open it back up. Then I'm going to turn it this direction. I'm just going to bring these two corners down until they line up. And crease it there. And then turn it and do the same thing here. So there's that, and then we'll do this. So this is the front of it. So this is a food web, and a food web contains many food chains. So this might be familiar from 3rd and or 4th grade. You may have heard of food chains, so it just shows how and shows what an organism eats and how it survives in its ecosystem. So if you open it up, we're gonna fill this out. So lots of food chains make up a food web. And then just like with the water cycle and fossil fuels, and probably other things as well, the source of all the energy is the sun. Alright, so if we look right here, there are arrows. So arrows are very important when we have a food web or a food chain. The arrow shows us how the energy is transferred. So here, this guy is sad because he's giving energy. And this guy over here gets the energy. So yum. So anytime you see the arrow pointing from one organism to another, that is showing us how that energy is transferred. So it goes from this guy to this guy. That means that this one is eating this. Same thing here. Gives energy. And this guy's happy because now he is full and can do all the tasks that he has to do. So if we open this up all the way, so again over here, the source of all energy is the sun. And then over here, a connection of food chains with many food energy paths in an ecosystem. So here you can see that we have several organisms in here. So the source of all energy is going to be the sun. The sun will give energy to the plants first, because plants, get their energy and food from the sun. So this is energy. This is energy. So it gives energy to the plants. They do not have to eat food. They get their energy and their food source from the sun. And because of that, they are called producers. They produce their own food. Well, I guess they're just one producer, not producers. And then the deer is going to eat the grass, and whenever something is eating something else, the arrow points to whatever is doing the eating. So the deer gets energy from the grass. Grass is giving energy to the deer, meaning the deer eats that grass, and it is a consumer. And a herbivore. Eats plants only. The mountain lion will receive energy from the deer. So the arrow again will go from the deer to the mountain lion. The mountain lion is also a consumer. It has to eat food in order to obtain energy. So because it has to eat, it is a consumer. And it is a carnivore. It's a meat eater. All right, now to the seeds. The seeds will give energy to the squirrel. The seeds might also give energy to the mouse, or it could give energy to the bird. So many different types of organisms depend on one food source, which could create an issue later. So this is also a consumer, and it's an omnivore because it might eat bugs also. The bird is also a consumer, and it is also an omnivore. It eats seeds, and they also eat, worms and bugs. And the squirrel, consumer, but this guy is just an herbivore. And the squirrel will get eaten by the lion, who is a consumer carnivore. The bird will get eaten by the snake, who is a consumer carnivore. The mouse will get eaten by the eagle, who is a consumer carnivore. So you can see that there are many different food chains within this food web. So a food chain would be sun to grass to deer to mountain lion. Just one flow of energy. That is a food chain. But when I have many flows of energy, that is what makes it a food web. Food webs show all of the interactions of animals in a particular ecosystem. So this one, it looks like it's just a forest maybe, because it has a squirrel and deer, mountain lions. So this is just a food web of one ecosystem. So we would not see a food web that has land animals and water animals, because that's overcrossing two different ecosystems. So, as I mentioned in your other video, you will use this paper, the paper with the ecosystem and biotic and abiotic factors. You will use that and your Unit 3 vocabulary in order to help you answer the questions for the quizzes. If there is a question, there might be maybe 2 to 3 questions that you don't know that I did not cover in these notes or that we haven't already discussed. Talking about what type of consumer it is, if it's not talking about herbivore or carnivore or omnivore, whichever one I didn't say, then just do the best you can with what you know. But most of those questions you should be able to answer using the foldable, your circle page, and your Unit 5 vocabulary. Please do not glue anything in your journal until I am back. I am hoping I'll be back tomorrow. Please work hard today. Please do your very best. We will have a bit of catching up to do when I return tomorrow. All right, guys. I'll see you then.